She's indignant about it, and we are all very agitated about this, because today what happened in Parliament, as Didi said, that democracy has been killed, it has been murdered. The person did not get a chance to defend herself. The honourable member Mahua Moitra, against whom these two allegations were, she did not get a chance to defend herself, and it was just a circus, a circus which was happening in Lok Sabha, because it was it was all planned. Just look at the chronology. Just these 2 days, what the Union Minister Giriraj Singh had said about women. You know, his remarks about women, which was so distasteful and so derogatory. So for them it comes very easy that you have to humiliate women, and then anybody who stands up, you must have to demean that woman. And that is why what happened with Mahua Moitra is also that they had to take this ultimate step, thinking that this will shut her up.
We've seen Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi beside Mahua Moitra. So do you think that, this is a very positive step by Congress and India Alliance again seen together?
Yes, again, as Didi has again said, that India Alliance is together, and they have shown solidarity vis-a-vis this regarding Mahua Moitra, and we all will work together, and this cannot happen. I mean, democracy needs to be back on track. You see, these people are taking it off the track, and the way this was discussed, the hurriedness of the process was just thrown to the winds. The person, Mr.
We in fact have Farooq Abdullah joining us here on CNN News 18. So appreciate you speaking to us here at CNN News 18. Your first reaction of Mahua Moitra being expelled as a Member of Parliament. Can you hear me, sir? Farooq sir, can you hear me? Okay, we'll try and re-establish that connection with Farooq Abdullah and try and get his reaction. But multiple reactions coming in from the opposition, and it's interesting that all the members of the opposition bloc, the INDI opposition bloc, now seem to be standing strongly behind the expelled Mahua Moitra as a Member of Parliament from the TMC, because the point that the opposition is making that this is a blot as far as functioning of democracy is concerned, this is a blot as far as functioning of Parliament is concerned. The opposition just hasn't been given a fair chance. In response to this, members of the Ethics Committee now saying that Mahua Moitra in fact was given a fair chance when she was asked to present her side of the story in front of the Ethics Committee, but it was she who in fact decided to walk out. What was also important to note was the reaction that was coming in from Mamta Banerjee, who went on to say that they will continue to stand behind Mahua Moitra. It is just a temporary setback, but come the general elections of 2024, in fact, it will be the voter who will give the final answer to the BJP. It's also important at this point to go through the fine print of what essentially were the findings, the recommendations of the ethics panel and the report that in fact was tabled earlier in the day. Let's also bring in our colleague Pallavi, who is joining us. Pallavi, what is interesting, and you can tell me if I'm fair to understand as far as this analysis is concerned, all the reactions that are coming in from the opposition bloc, none of them seem to be mentioning the fine print of this particular case. But the larger point that they're making is that this is a blot as far as the functioning of Parliament is concerned, which essentially has no place for the voice of the opposition.
The main point on which, Ridhima, the India Front Alliance was formed was because we all need to come together, because this is the idea of India. The idea of India being one India, one in which everyone has the freedom to express themselves, and also the fact is that no discrimination is made on anyone on any grounds. Now, Mahua Moitra's incident, disqualification of Rahul Gandhi, in fact, I still remember when Rahul Gandhi was disqualified, one of the first opposition leaders who spoke in his favor was actually Mamta Banerjee. Today, that's also one reason why the Congress wants to be seen by the side of Rahul Gandhi, by the side of Mahua Moitra as well. And therefore, the point which they are going to be making consistently is to the voters that there is a pattern as far as the BJP is concerned. Anyone who questions the Prime Minister, either they face ED, CBI, or they are arrested or they are suspended, and they don't have a place in Parliament.
Pallavi, we'll just request you to stay on with us. We also have our other colleagues joining us. Aman is also joining us on the broadcast. Arunima is also joining us on the broadcast. Aman, taking on from what Pallavi was pointing out, and she is right, that's essentially the point that's being made by the opposition, that there is no space for the opposition to have their voice or disagreements as far as the functioning of the parliament is concerned. It's either the misuse of the central agencies like the ED or the CBI, or you see expulsions like these. Why was Mahua Moitra or anybody else from the opposition not given a fair chance to speak?
Well, the government's stance is very clear that Mahua Moitra was given the chance to speak. The precedence and the convention is that, as Om Birla, the speaker, also pointed out in the discussion today, that is when the committee meets. When the ethics committee met, Mahua Moitra was summoned. She was asked to put her side. She did put her side, but then she walked out of the meeting citing that she was asked inappropriate questions. Now, the transcript of the same meeting has now been put out by the ethics committee as part of its annexure. So it's everybody to see what exactly was said by either party. Today, what opposition is really perturbed about today, I think, is the point that Mahua Moitra was not allowed to speak in parliament today. So the half-an-hour discussion, we saw TMC Sudhir Bandyopadhyay clearly say that let the TMC allotted time be given to just Mahua Moitra, let her speak for 10 minutes. But I think the government came very well prepared. Pralhad Joshi, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, clearly cited precedents and the tradition. He said in 2005, when the cash for vote scam had happened, then Speaker Mr. Somnath Chatterjee did not give a chance to the 10 expelled members to speak in Parliament. The place for the person who is being expelled, the place for that person to speak is before the Ethics Committee, not before the Parliament. So clearly, I think the opposition was insistent that Mahua Moitra be given a chance to speak. Adhir Chowdhury, in fact, wrote a letter to the Speaker just before the discussion was taken up that give us 3 to 4 days to study the report. So the opposition also a bit miffed that they've not been given time to study this 400-page plus report, and straight away Mahua Moitra has been expelled. But I think the government was very, very clear. Government wanted to set an example of Mahua Moitra. The government thinks that, this violation that she did, sharing her login details with a businessman, plus a businessman who settled abroad, who was accessing her login from foreign shores, is a very, very serious matter. It's a serious violation of parliamentary procedure. It's also a matter of national security, and the entire the bribery matter which is being spoken about will be looked at by the agencies. But I think the parliamentary committee, the ethics committee, was very clear in its opinion that Mahua Moitra should be expelled. And that is the reason that on the same day that the report has been tabled, the motion was moved, and we saw she also being expelled from the parliament. The BJP clearly saying that, it was in no mood to give any concessions to Mahua Moitra today. And though the opposition is now saying that, she did not get a chance to speak, the BJP is very clear that when she had a chance to speak, she chose to walk out of the committee meeting.
Okay, Aman, we'll just request you to stay on with us. I also want to bring in Arunima back in the conversation. Arunima, I was speaking to Sushmita Dev of the TMC a short while ago, and Sushmita Dev has been saying that yes, Mahua Moitra has been expelled, but where is the real evidence? Two questions that were raised by her, that everybody is saying there was quid pro quo. The ethics committee has failed to get any evidence. Even the evidence that has been mentioned by Darshan Hiranandani, the committee doesn't mention it in its report. Could you talk to us about the fine print as far as the evidence that has been mentioned in the report?
Yes, it all began with the hashtag cash for query. Eventually, it has come down to gifts being given and favors being given by way of travel, payments, etc. The Ethics Committee in its report, if you see the recommendations, says that there should be a further inquiry. It is not within the purview of the Ethics Committee really to look at the money trail, and that's why the Central Bureau of Investigation is seized of the matter. Whether they will find enough evidence to lodge an FIR, I have been speaking to Enforcement Directorate officials as well. They say our role will come in only if corruption is made out. Once corruption charge is established, we'll look if there is any money laundering charge or any foreign exchange violation charge that is made out. So all of that has been left to investigating agencies. What the Ethics Committee has concluded is that there is acceptance, even if it was 2 scarves that was gifted to her. If in lieu of those 2 scarves, questions were asked, then that is not the way a member of parliament is supposed to operate. You're supposed to ask questions in question hour because it's in public interest, not because somebody is giving you any kind of favor in cash or otherwise. Mahua Moitra on her part argued it right from the start that sharing of credentials is not something that I am the only one doing. Every member of parliament takes the help of parliamentary assistants, etc. But the fact, and Pallavi has been repeatedly underlining it, that they found out that on a particular day login is being used from 3 different places: Delhi, West Bengal and also New Jersey. So how is that happening? Clearly, your parliamentary assistant can't be at 3 places, and you can't be at 3 places on the same day. Somebody else is using it.
For interrupting, we're getting a reaction coming in from Pralhad Joshi. Let's listen in.
पहले 12 बजे रिपोर्ट पेश किया गया और रिपोर्ट पेश करने के बाद तुरंत 2 मिनट में पोर्टल पर, जो अभी पेपरलेस हमने ई-विधान पोर्टल के थ्रू पेपरलेस किया है, तुरंत हमने अपलोड किया है। ऑपरेशनल पार्ट जो है वो 15-20 पेज का है, तो मुझे भी 15-20 पेज वो जब प्रेजेंट हुआ तब भी मैं भी पढ़ा। और दूसरी बात, ये जो प्रेसिडेंट है 2005 में जब 10 एमपीओ को निकाला गया था, निष्कासित किया गया था, तब भी रिपोर्ट उसी दिन पेश किया था, उसी दिन चर्चा हुआ था, वो भी 10 एमपी के लिए, जहाँ तो वो जस्ट स्ट्रिंग ऑपरेशन था। एक्चुअली उसमें कई लोग पैसा दिया नहीं दिया, उसके लिए उस चर्चा में मैं नहीं जा रहा हूँ। मैं ये कह रहा हूँ इट वॉज ए स्ट्रिंग ऑपरेशन, बट वेयर एज इसमें जो घटना घटी है उसने तो स्वयं उन्होंने स्वीकारा है, मुझे ऐसे ब्रांड का स्कार्फ मिला है, ऐसे ब्रांड का लिपस्टिक मिला है, उन्होंने तो इनकार नहीं किया है। एंड शी हैज़ ट्रैवल्ड मोर देन 36 टाइम टू वेरियस अदर प्लेसेस। इधर से अगर समझो टोक्यो गए, टोक्यो से कहाँ गए वो तो आंकड़ा नहीं है, लेकिन टोक्यो तक ऐसे इधर से जो फॉरेन डेस्टिनेशन गए 36 टाइम गया है। और हिरानंदानी ने स्वीकार कर दिया है कि ये तो इनका पूरा जर्नी तो मैंने स्पॉन्सर किया हूँ। इसके बावजूद भी पश्चाताप व्यक्त करने से पेपरलेस किया है, तुरंत हमने अपलोड किया है। ऑपरेशनल पार्ट जो है वो 15-20 पेज का है, तो मुझे भी 15-20 पेज वो जब प्रेजेंट हुआ तब भी मैं भी पढ़ा। और दूसरी बात, ये जो प्रेसिडेंट है 2005 में जब 10 एमपीओ को निकाला गया था, निष्कासित किया गया था, तब भी रिपोर्ट उसी दिन पेश किया था, उसी दिन चर्चा हुआ था, वो भी 10 एमपी के लिए, जहाँ तो वो जस्ट स्ट्रिंग ऑपरेशन था। एक्चुअली उसमें कई लोग पैसा दिया नहीं दिया, उसके लिए उस चर्चा में मैं नहीं जा रहा हूँ। मैं ये कह रहा हूँ इट वॉज ए स्ट्रिंग ऑपरेशन, बट वेयर एज इसमें जो घटना घटी है उसने तो स्वयं उन्होंने स्वीकारा है, मुझे ऐसे ब्रांड का स्कार्फ मिला है, ऐसे ब्रांड का लिपस्टिक मिला है, इन्होंने तो इनकार नहीं किया है। एंड शी हैज़ ट्रैवल्ड मोर देन 36 टाइम टू वेरियस अदर प्लेसेस। इधर से अगर समझो टोक्यो गए, टोक्यो से कहाँ गए वो तो आंकड़ा नहीं है, लेकिन टोक्यो तक ऐसे इधर से जो फॉरेन डेस्टिनेशन गए 36 टाइम गया है। और हिरानंदानी ने स्वीकार कर दिया है कि ये तो इनका पूरा जर्नी तो मैंने स्पॉन्सर किया हूँ। इसके बावजूद भी पश्चाताप व्यक्त करने से बजाय तो ये चैलेंज करते ही क्या है। 2005 में 10 एमपी खड़े हुए थे, रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे थे, तो हमको भी 5 मिनट बोलने का मौका दीजिए। तब के अध्यक्ष जो लोकसभा के अध्यक्ष थे उन्होंने निर्णय दे दिया कि आप तो एक्यूज्ड है, आपको हम इधर बात करने का मौका नहीं देंगे। आप कमिटी के सामने पेश हुए थे, उधर जो आपने विषय रखना था आपने रख दिया है। तो जो भी, और मैं और एक क्वेश्चन उन लोगों से पूछना चाहता हूं जो अभी अराउंड 60-65 प्रश्न पूछा है, 4 सेक्टर पे पूछा है, एक बार भी अपने लोकसभा कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी के बारे में एक प्रश्न नहीं पूछा है। नॉट इवन वन शी हैज आस्क्ड द क्वेश्चन अबाउट हर कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी। ये सब क्या कहलाता है जी? क्या बात कर रहे हो? आपको कम से कम पश्चाताप व्यक्त करके, ठीक है गलती हो, इतना ये स्कार्फ दिया, वो 1.5-2 लाख का स्कार्फ, ये सब उन्होंने स्वीकारा है और कमेटी के सामने में भी उनका इनकार नहीं किया है। और यूज़र आईडी जो हम पासवर्ड और यूज़र आईडी के बारे में, तो अगर आप अपने क्वेश्चन ड्राफ्ट करते हैं तो भी लोड करने के लिए ठीक है, आपके मैंने पीओ को दिया था, लेकिन जो दुबई में बैठे उनको देते हैं आप, तो और बोलते हैं तो मेरा अन्याय हो गया।
एक बात सर, जब उनको एक्सपेल कर दिया गया, जब बाहर आए सोनिया गांधी के साथ, तमाम विपक्ष के नेताओं के साथ गांधी मूर्ति पर गई, उनका कहना था कि एक महिला को सदन से बाहर करने के लिए सब किया गया, क्योंकि वो महिला एक बिजनेस हाउस के बारे में लगातार बोल रही थी, जिसकी करीबी है सरकार से, बीजेपी से।
नहीं, ये महिला के विषय नहीं है। वो जो पूछ रहे थे और उनके कॉम्पिटिटर के बारे में पूछ रहे थे, उनके कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी के बारे में पूछ रहे थे, और क्वेश्चन पैसे के लिए, कुछ गिफ्ट के लिए पूछा गया। ये तो सिद्ध हो गया है, स्वयं स्वीकारा है, और उन्होंने एफिडेविट में काउंसिलेट के सामने बोला है मैंने एफिडेविट करके दिया हूँ। इससे सबूत के बड़ा सबूत क्या चाहिए?
प्रहलाद जी, एक सवाल आता है कि क्या ये महुआ मोइत्रा पर जिस तरह से वर्कआउट हुआ, पूरा अपोजिशन एक रहा, INDA गठबंधन, आपको नहीं लगा कि इस मसले पर और एक होकर आपके लिए और बड़ी चुनौती बन जाएगी? राजनीतिक मुद्दा बना।
अरे भाई, ये तो राजनीतिक मुद्दा क्या बनाएंगे? मैं तो आपको बता रहा हूँ, बहुत लोग अभी तो सोनिया गांधी किसके लिए गए? सोनिया गांधी इसीलिए शी वेंट देयर। तो अभी जो इंडी गठबंधन में ममता बनर्जी इनके बारे में जो बयान दिया है, जेडीयू वाले जो नेता, जेडीयू का नेता नीतीश कुमार जी ने जो रुख अपना है, इसलिए उनके साथ जाने का कोशिश किया है। लेकिन तो जो भी करे कुछ नहीं होने वाला है। और इसके साथ ही साथ अंदर में तृणमूल कांग्रेस के बहुत MP सहित बहुत लोग दे आर वेरी हैप्पी अबाउट आवर एक्सपल्शन।